The Ministry of Health is seeking Parliament's assistance to cover 59 billion Kenya shillings of funding shortfall worsened by the US aid funding freeze. State Department for Medical Service and Health Affairs Harry Kimtai say the freeze is restraining service delivery at both national and county levels. Mutai said the ministry needs additional funding for unfunded priorities, including 30 billion Kenya shillings for a fully public financed primary healthcare system, 5 billion Kenya shillings for strategic commodities like HIV treatment and vaccines, and 3 billion Kenya shillings for essential supplies.
The State Department has 42 projects to be implemented in the financial year 2025-2026. The total allocation to the capital projects programs is Kenya shillings 27.4 billion, comprising of Kenya shillings 13.3 billion under the GOK and Kenya shillings 14.1 billion under the donor-funded support.
The account had received a total of 3.7 billion from the ministry, and we have disbursed 1.3 billion. From the returns we have received, we expect to disburse an additional 1.6 to 1.7 billion.
Additionally, Kemri has criticized the removal of 400 million Kenya shillings from the budget, emphasizing the need for local funding of research programs.
Pearl Newsbeat.
President William Ruto has dared his detractors to watch the government pace as it moves to implement key government projects, including the construction of the Isiolo-Mandera road, as well as major 750-kilometer highway connecting Isiolo to Mandera. While addressing the viral video where he was seen naming the northeastern road earmarked for construction, Ruto says Kenyans joke too much on matters of life and death and stress the importance of infrastructure development in the region. While speaking when overseeing the signing of a better electricity access via mini-grid and solar, President Ruto said developing infrastructure in northern Kenya is also important as other regions.
Last week or the week before, I was in northern Kenya and I did announce a major road artery that will be constructed from Isiolo through Wajir all the way to Mandera. And many people assume or think it is a joke. Let me tell you, good people, in this country sometimes we take matters of life and death as if it is a joke. I am committed to delivering on that 750 kilometer of road from Isiolo to Mandera, because for a very long time we have left northern Kenya behind.
Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has been warned against deploying National Intelligence Service officers in universities to curb drug and alcohol abuse. According to Murkomen, there was need to deploy NIS officers after a report by the National Authority for the Campaign Against Drug and Alcohol Abuse revealed that over 50% of university students in the country abuse alcohol and drugs. Led by Suba Churchill of the Kenya National Civil Society Centre, the civil society argues that deploying NIS to universities will impair their freedom and rights of lecturers and students to learn and express ideas and opinions in academic institutions. This even after it emerged that entertainment giants are selling shisha, lacing it with a heroin or marijuana to cause addiction to its users. The Director of Research at the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, John Moteti, has revealed following a report that placed university students among the highest consumers of the drug. Speaking at a local media, Moteti reveals that the lacing of shisha with the hard stimulants is a selling strategy intended to hook the students into repeat consumers, but harmful to the client, a majority of whom are girls.
When you look at shisha, where we think that it is a safe drug, because they start me that, it's not even smoking, shisha is just there. We did a study sometimes back and found out that most of the joints selling shisha are lacing the shisha with either heroin or marijuana, and they are doing this because they want to hook. They want the people taking it to get hooked, so that when you experience that high, you say, that joint, it's that shisha, that place has got very nice shisha.
Senator Samson Cherargei and Edwin Sifuna have clashed over the alleged abduction of Ugandan politician Kizza Besigye in Nairobi. Things took a turn for the worse after Nairobi Senator Sifuna rose to welcome lawmakers from Uganda present in the chambers and condemned the abduction of Besigye in the Kenyan capital. Expressing his disappointment with the situation, Sifuna further assured the Ugandan delegation of Kenya's continued support in securing Besigye's release. However, Cherargei, standing on a point of information, criticized Sifuna for commenting on the matter, arguing that it was before the court.
I must say that as a leader of opposition in Kenya myself, it is very easy. It is very easy to be in the opposition in Kenya because we are protected by a very robust constitution for which many people died and ensured that we have the freedom to speak, freedom to associate, and freedom to exercise our own choices. Unfortunately for our friends in Uganda, some people in this country, in Kenya, are trying to drag us back to the dark days where we used to have dictatorship in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, it is something that is quite shameful and painful to me individually as a senator of the country.
Senators, we are welcoming distinguished visitors from our neighbor, Uganda.
For us to discuss an active case in another jurisdiction of Gisa Besigye that is being considered by High Court in Kampala, Mr. Speaker. Yet our standing orders are very clear that when a matter is active in court, it should not be conversed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Meanwhile, ailing veteran opposition politician Dr. Kizza Besigye, his aide Obed Lotale, and one of the lawyers, Aaron Kizza, will remain in detention until later this month when the Civil Division of the High Court in Kampala will make its decision in a habeas corpus case filed by their lawyers after hearing submissions from Besigye's advocates and representatives of the Attorney General High Court. Judge Douglas Karakona Singiza said on Wednesday that his decision will be delivered not later than February 25th, 2025. The judge said he was happy that at least the body of Dr. Besigye had been presented in court, and now what remains are questions about his unlawful detention following government's delay to implement January 31st Supreme Court ruling, which has stopped the General Court Martial from trying civilians on grounds that it was unconstitutional before ordering files to be immediately transferred to the ordinary courts with a competent jurisdiction. After today's court proceeding, National Unity Platform President Robert Kyagulanyi, alias Bobby Wine, was flanked by Dr. Besigye's wife Winnie Byanyima and Dr. Besigye's lawyer described the former Forum for Democratic Change president's continued detention and the judge's orders as political persecution.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.